Hi guys, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make a drawstring bag. So if that's something that you're interested in seeing, definitely keep watching and don't forget to subscribe. Bye! To make a satin drawstring bag, you need the following items. You need your fabric scissors. You'd also need a small scissors. You need your measuring tape. You need your tailor's chalk or your fabric marker. You need a ruler, and I've got my small steel rule here. You need your pins. You'd also need a safety pin. You need your ribbon, and I've got this satin ribbon that is only about ½ inch wide. And of course you need your lighter, and this is so that you can burn the ends of the ribbon to keep it from fraying. You'd obviously need your fabric, and I've got a black satin here to match my black ribbon, and this is what I'll be using. However, you can use any color of your choice. Start off by folding your satin fabric into two along the length so that you have two separated edges and then one folded edge. Go ahead and fold it over one more time so that the folded edge meets the separated edges, and you folded it a total of 4 times. Your satin fabric should be folded along the length. So for me, I have the length to my left and then I've got the yardage at the top. Starting at the top, mark out the desired bag width that you would like. So for me, I've gone with a bag width of 12 inches and I've gone ahead to mark that all through my fabric vertically. Afterwards, I went ahead to cut along these points so that I have a rectangular fabric that is 12 inches wide and about 60 inches long. Divide the long strip of fabric into two so that you have two rectangular pieces of fabric that are about 30 inches long and are 12 inches wide. To keep the edges from fraying, you want to go over the sides of both pieces with a serger or an overlocking machine, or even a regular zigzag stitch if you don't have those. After overlocking both pieces, this is what they look like. The next thing to do is to take one of the pieces and fold it into two so that you have a width of 12 inches and a length of about 15 inches. Afterwards, you want to go ahead and pin the sides together like so. Starting at the top of both sides, mark out 2 inches vertically and 3 inches vertically. The gap between the 2 inches mark and the 3 inches mark will be left unsewn. Starting at the top, mark out the sewing allowance of ½ inch up until the 2 inch point. Then you want to go ahead and mark out the sewing allowance of ½ inch starting at the 3 inch point to the end. You want to repeat this on the other side of the fabric, making sure to leave the gap between 2 and 3 unmarked. Afterwards, go ahead and sew along these points. While sewing, be sure to leave the 1 inch gap between 2 and 3 unsewn, and then make sure to backstitch at the beginning and at the end of the gap. After sewing, this is what it looks like, and as you can see, I have my gap of 1 inch left unsewn on both sides. I'm going to put this away and grab the second piece. Fold the second rectangular piece into two so that it measures 12 inches in width and about 15 inches in length, and then go ahead and pin the sides as shown. After pinning the sides, mark out the sewing allowance of ½ inch on one side. You want to mark that from the top to the bottom of that side. On the other side, mark out 6 inches and 8 inches vertically. The 2 inches gap that we have in between 6 and 8 will be left unsewn. Afterwards, mark out the sewing allowance of ½ inch starting at the top up until the 6 inches point, and then starting again at the 8 inch point till the end. After marking out the allowances, go ahead and sew along these points. You should have a gap like this left unsewn. Afterwards, open up the seams of both pieces by ironing. After ironing, this is what they look like. Match up the open ends of both pieces, making sure they meet at the side seams. Pin the open ends of both pieces to each other, making sure that the right sides are facing each other and the side seams align. You want to pin all around as shown. After pinning, this is what it looks like. Go ahead and mark out the sewing allowance of 1/2 inch all around as shown, and then afterwards go ahead and sew all around, being careful not to catch any other part of the fabric. After sewing it together, this is what you should have, and as you can see, you now have one piece and your drawstring bag is nearly ready. Next, you want to find the 2-inch gap and then turn the bag inside out as shown. After turning the bag inside out through the 2-inch gap, you want to make sure to push out all the corners, and I went ahead to do that using something a bit sharp. However, you do want to be careful so you don't rip the bag with your scissors. Next, give the bag a good iron, making sure to iron out all the seams on the bag. After ironing the bag, top stitch the gap close. Arrange the bag so that the part with the 2-inch gap is inside. After arranging the bag, you should have something that looks like this. Next, top stitch the edge of the bag so that you keep both fabrics together. After top stitching, this is what it should look like, and as you can see, I still have the 1-inch gap on both sides of the bag. Starting at the top of the bag, mark out 1 inch vertically all around. You want to go ahead and sew on the 1-inch mark afterwards. If your sewing machine has a free arm extension, it will come in very handy at this point, because the goal is to sew all around without sewing the second side of the bag. We're not trying to sew the bag closed, we're only trying to make the casing for the ribbon. After sewing, this is what it looks like, and as you can see, I still have the 1-inch gap on both sides and I can open my bag still. Starting at the top again, mark out 1.5 inches vertically all around and then go ahead and sew. This completes the casing for the ribbon. And like I mentioned earlier, if your sewing machine has a free arm extension, it comes in very useful because you want to place your bag onto your sewing machine like so that way your free arm extension will be in between your bag and then you don't make the mistake of sewing your bag closed. After sewing, this is what the ribbon casing looks like, and as you can see, the gap that I left unsewn is still there on both sides of the bag. Next, cut out 2 strips of ribbon that are at least 34 inches long. Next, attach 1 ribbon onto the safety pin like so, and then go ahead and feed the ribbon into the ribbon casing using the safety pin. You want to push on the safety pin till the ribbon goes all around and comes out at the other end of that same gap. You need to be patient while doing this because sometimes it might get stuck, and as you can see, I struggled a little bit trying to get the ribbon out at the same end. After the ribbon comes out at the same end, go ahead and remove the safety pin, and then you want to tie a knot on both ends of the ribbon and you want to burn it lightly. This is to keep it from fraying like I mentioned earlier. Please be extra careful not to burn down anything and also not to burn your fingers. Following the same process, attach the second strip of ribbon onto the safety pin and then go ahead and feed the ribbon into the ribbon casing via the second side or the second opening. Push the ribbon all around till it comes out at the starting point. Afterwards, go ahead and remove the safety pin, tie a knot, and then burn the edges to keep it from fraying. At this point, your drawstring bag is now done. This is what the finished drawstring bag looks like, and to close your drawstring bag, all you need to do is pull on the ribbons and your drawstring bag will be closed. I went ahead to personalize the smaller drawstring bag, and if you'd like to see how I did that, I'll link a video in the description bar below and in the iCards above. It's a video showing how I personalize a t-shirt, and the same principles apply. All you need is HTV and a die cutting machine. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope it was worth your while. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and don't forget to follow me on social media. Also, if you like any of the things that I use, you can shop them using the links in the description bar below. Thank you and see you in my next video. Bye.